Ladies, have you ever walked into a room, paused for a moment, and thought to yourself, what's that smell? You look around. The garbage is out. The sink is clean, but something still lingers. And then it hits you. Could it be me? Now don't panic. You're not alone. In fact, doctors have a name for it. Nonenal odor, commonly known as old person smell. It's not your fault, it's not dirtiness, it's biology, and it happens to the best of us. But here's the good news. There are 6 hidden areas that quietly build up this scent over time. Areas most women over 60 forget to clean the right way. Today, we're going to uncover them, one by one. And when we get to number 6, I promise you'll never look at your daily routine the same again. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's refresh more than just our bodies. Let's restore our confidence. This is for you, especially if you've ever felt self-conscious about the way you smell or wondered if others can sense something you can't. This video was made with you in mind. Here on Elder Radiance, we speak gently but truthfully about what aging really feels like. So if this resonates with you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more gentle guidance, and leave a comment that says, I'm too classy to be musty, because you won. Let's start here, behind the ears and neck folds. This one might surprise you because it's a spot we rarely think about, but it's often the source of the very smell we're trying to avoid, right behind your ears and along the folds of your neck. Now, I want to share a quick story with you because this one's personal. It was a Sunday morning after church, and my sweet granddaughter leaned in for a hug. She paused, wrinkled her nose just slightly. Not rude, just curious, I asked. Sweetheart, is something wrong? And she said the words only a 9-year-old could say with such honesty. Grandma, your neck smells kind of funny. Who? Let me tell you, I nearly dropped my purse right there in the pew. When I got home, I marched straight to the bathroom, stood in front of the mirror, and started inspecting the back of my ears and neck. Makeup? Perfect hair? Combed. But then I ran a damp cloth behind my ears and felt it. A slight stickiness, a bit of buildup I hadn't even noticed. That moment sent me down a rabbit hole of research, and what I learned changed how I clean myself forever. See, as we age, our bodies begin to produce something called 2-nonenal. It's a natural compound created when fatty acids on our skin oxidize, and it tends to collect in areas with lots of oil and sweat glands behind the ears. Packed with sebaceous glands, the back of the neck? A prime spot for buildup, especially if you wear wigs, scarves, high collars, or have long hair trapping moisture. Now think about your daily routine. We often wash our face, maybe give our neck a quick swipe, but how often do you gently scrub behind your ears with intention? Not a rinse, a true cleanse with a soft cloth, mild soap, and circular motions. And don't forget the hair products that collect back there. Oils, conditioners, sprays, they settle into the skin and mix with sweat. Over time, this creates a faint, sour smell that becomes more noticeable, not to you, but to those around you. Since that church hug, I've added a sticky note to my mirror. Don't forget the back. Now I clean those areas every evening. Warm cloth, unscented cleanser, dry gently. And would you believe it? Not a single nose wrinkle from my granddaughter since. Sometimes it's the quietest parts of us that speak the loudest. So give that space behind your ears and neck the care it deserves, because freshness isn't about perfume, it's about presence. 2. Now, this one's tender, underneath the breasts. Let's have some grown woman talk for a moment. You know how we used to joke that our girls once sat up high and proud, but now they prefer to play peekaboo with our waistband? Well, gravity has a sense of humor, and it creates more than just droop. It creates a perfect little hiding place for heat, moisture, and unfortunately smell. Under the breasts is one of the most forgotten hygiene zones because we don't always notice what's happening there, especially if we wear supportive bras, layered clothing, or feel too modest to lift and look. But here's the truth, that fold of skin-on-skin contact creates a warm, dark, and often damp environment, exactly what bacteria and yeast love. Doctors even have a name for it, intertrigo. When skin folds, rub and trap moisture, leading to irritation, redness, and a sour smell that no amount of body spray can cover up. And it's not just a big bust issue. Petite women deal with it too, because this isn't about size, it's about airflow and attention. Even on cooler days, if you've been moving around, doing chores, running errands, or just living in your favorite house coat, that space under the breasts can become a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. I didn't realize how bad mine had gotten until one summer afternoon at a friend's garden party. I hugged another woman, and as we pulled apart, she gently whispered, "Sweetie, do you use powder under your girls? It saved my life after 60. She wasn't being rude. She was saving me from embarrassment I didn't know I was carrying. Now here's my routine. Every morning, and especially after a shower, I lift and cleanse under the breasts with a warm cloth and mild unscented soap. Then I pat the area completely dry, not just dab dry. If it's a humid day, or I'm going to be out and about, I use a touch of natural cornstarch or talc-free body powder. Some women tuck a clean cotton pad or soft tissue underneath for extra absorbency. It's a trick I learned back when I used to ballroom dance. And let me tell you, it keeps everything feeling fresh, supported, and confident. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a woman feel older than catching a whiff of sour sweat under a clean blouse. This small act of care done daily makes a world of difference. Your body is still beautiful. Let's honor every inch of it, even the hidden folds. 3. Don't skip this, the inside of your shoes. Now let me ask you something real. When was the last time you actually smelled the inside of your shoes? Not the outside. We're good at polishing, spot cleaning, even keeping them lined up neatly in the closet. But the inside, where our feet have been sweating, walking, working, and holding our weight day after day, that space tells a story, and sometimes it doesn't smell too sweet. I learned this lesson the hard way. I had a pair of lovely orthopedic Mary Janes, soft on the outside arch, support to die for. But one day, at a doctor's visit, I had to take them off. The minute I did, I caught a whiff of something, earthy damp, not quite foul, but definitely not fresh. My podiatrist didn't flinch. He looked at my shoes and gently said, "These are the problem." I was mortified, but he was kind, and he taught me something that day. Did you know each foot has more than 250,000 sweat glands? That's 250,000 little moisture factories, and all that sweat gets absorbed right into the shoe lining. Now pair that with dead skin cells, dust, and maybe socks that didn't quite breathe right. What you're left with is a shoe that smells like a swamp, even if you only wore it to the grocery store, and it gets worse with age as circulation changes and skin becomes thinner. Older feet are more prone to infections, fungal growth, and lingering odor, especially if we wear the same pair every day. So here's what I do now. Once a week, I sprinkle baking soda inside each shoe and let it sit overnight. In the morning, I dump it out. This absorbs moisture and neutralizes odor. It's simple, cheap, and works like magic. I also rotate my shoes. Never wear the same pair 2 days in a row. Let them breathe. Set them by a sunny window if you can. Sunlight is a natural disinfectant. And don't forget, many insoles are removable. You can take them out, wash them gently with soapy water, and let them air dry. It makes a world of difference. Some women even use activated charcoal inserts, which you can buy online or at most pharmacies. They're a secret weapon for freshness, because the last thing you want is to bend down in public, maybe to pick up your purse or a drop tissue and release a puff of shoe-stored odor into the world. Our feet carry us through every season of life. Let's return the favor, with care, with cleanliness, and a little sprinkle of baking soda of 4. Let's talk about this, your upholstered chairs and recliners. Now picture this with me. It's late afternoon. You've got your cozy blanket over your lap, your favorite show humming gently in the background, a warm cup of chamomile tea in hand, and you're settled into your favorite recliner, the same one you've used for years. It fits your body like a hug. But there's one problem we never think about. That chair, as comforting as it feels, might be holding on to something you've stopped noticing. Here's what most women over 60 don't realize. Fabric-covered furniture, especially the pieces we use daily, absorb more than just our presence. They absorb everything. Oils from our skin, flakes from our scalp, sweat from a nap, residue from lotions and perfumes. All of it seeps slowly into the fibers, layer by layer, day by day. And because we're used to it, we stop smelling it. That's called olfactory fatigue, when your nose simply adjusts and stops detecting an odor that's been there a while. I'll never forget when my niece came to visit. She hugged me, sat on my recliner for 5 minutes, and then said, "Auntie, your house smells like your chair." She didn't mean it in a bad way, but I took notice. Because the truth is, that scent, soft, musty, a little stale, it clings to us more than we think. And when we stand up from that chair, some of it comes with us. Now, this doesn't mean you're dirty, it means you're living, you're human, but it also means you need to take small steps to reset the space you spend the most time in. Here's what I do now. Once a week, I sprinkle baking soda over the seat and arms of my recliner, let it sit for about an hour, then I vacuum it up. That alone makes a huge difference in smell. Then twice a year, I either rent a small steam cleaner or pay a neighbor's son to deep clean the fabric. That deep clean, it lifts everything: odors, bacteria, invisible dust. And here's my little secret. I tuck a small lavender sachet or cedar block inside the cushion crease, not to overpower, just to gently freshen. And once a week, I take a damp cloth with a drop of gentle soap and wipe down the armrests, especially if they're microfiber. Because those arms, they hold more body oils than your pillowcase. Your home should be your haven, and your favorite chair should hug you without holding on to yesterday's sweat. So next time you settle in, ask yourself, is this chair supporting my freshness too? Because when your furniture smells clean, so do you. It's hiding in plain sight, your closet and what's hanging inside. Let's take a deep breath together, because we're about to open a door, literally, that many of us haven't really looked into in years. Our closets. That quiet little space where clothes go to hang but sometimes never come out again. Now here's the secret few people talk about. Even clean clothes, if they hang in a stale, closed-off closet too long, can begin to smell old. It's not because you didn't wash them properly. It's not because you're unclean. It's because fabrics, especially cotton wool and synthetic blends, act like little sponges. They absorb the air around them, and when that air is humid, dark, and filled with traces of skin flakes, dust, and lingering body oils, those clothes take on that scent and hold it close. I call my closet the fabric retirement home. Because some of those cardigans, church dresses, and just-in-case blouses have been hanging there since my granddaughter was in diapers. They look fine. They even feel clean. But I'd catch a whiff when I put one on and wonder, is that me? Nope. It was the closet. Our noses get used to these subtle smells, so while we might not notice them anymore, others can, especially younger people with sharper senses. And when you wear a blouse that's been sitting in a closet without airflow for 6 months, you carry that musty signature with you. Here's what I started doing, and what changed everything. First, I opened my closet doors wide at least once a week. Let fresh air in. Just like your lungs, your closet needs to breathe. Then I placed a few charcoal odor absorbers in the corners. You can get them online or at discount stores. They pull moisture and scent from the air. Then I added a few moisture-absorbing packs, like Damprid especially since I live in a humid climate. Once a month, I vacuum the closet floor and wipe down the shelves with a damp cloth. It's shocking how much lint and skin dust builds up. And I made peace with letting go of old clothes. If I haven't worn that floral blouse since my grandson's christening in 2009, it's time. If it smells old, it'll make me smell old. So now I follow one rule: refresh it, wash it, or bless someone else with it. Because the closet might be out of sight, but the scent it gives you walks with you into every room, and you deserve to smell as fresh as you feel. 6. This one's easy to miss, between your toes. Now I know this one doesn't sound glamorous, but it might just be the most important of all. Let's talk about a place on your body that hardly ever sees the light of day, yet can cause some of the strongest and most persistent odors without you even knowing. That place is between your toes. We were taught as children to wash your feet, but no one ever explained what that really meant. So for years, many of us thought a quick splash of water and a pass over the top was enough. But as we get older, our skin becomes thinner, circulation slows, and the spaces between our toes become little pockets where sweat, skin cells, and bacteria throw a party every single day. I had a dear friend, let's call her Doris. She kept noticing a strange smell in her living room. She blamed the carpet, then the dog, then her poor husband. She even bought new slippers, but nothing worked. One day I visited her, and as she slipped off her shoes, I caught a whiff. Sharp, cheesy, not overpowering, but familiar. And I said gently, "Doris, it might be your feet." She was mortified, but relieved to finally know the source. Turns out it wasn't her shoes or her dog. It was a little damp space between her fourth and fifth toes where moisture and warmth had created the perfect environment for fungus. Yes, athlete's foot isn't just for teenage boys after gym class. We get it too, especially when we wear closed shoes, don't dry thoroughly, or skip that space entirely during showers. So here's what I do now. Every time I shower, I take a soft cloth and gently but thoroughly wash between each toe. I use unscented, gentle soap, no perfumes or harsh chemicals. Then the important part, I sit down and dry between each toe with a separate clean towel. Yes, it takes an extra minute, but it prevents a lifetime of embarrassment. On humid days, I use a tiny bit of foot powder or even a drop of tea tree oil between the toes. Tea tree is naturally antifungal and leaves a fresh scent. I also make sure to wear breathable cotton socks, and I never ever put on shoes without freshly cleaned feet. Because here's the truth. You can be scrubbed from head to ankle, but if you skip the spaces between your toes, you're carrying an invisible scent that clings to your shoes, your floors, even your bed sheets. So let's give our feet the respect they deserve. They've carried us through every season of life. The least we can do is keep them dry, clean, and ready for the next step. You're aging, not fading. Here's the truth. No one says out loud, you don't have to smell old just because you're getting older. Yes, our bodies change. Our skin changes, our routines change. But that doesn't mean we have to lose our sense of freshness, our pride, or our quiet elegance. The smell people call old person smell isn't who you are. It's just a signal, a gentle reminder that your body still needs care in the places you don't always see. And when you take that care back into your own hands, you take back something deeper, confidence, presence, and the feeling of being fully yourself again. So let's not be ashamed of this conversation. Let's be empowered by it, because aging isn't fading, it's evolving, and we deserve to smell like the vibrant, radiant, graceful women we are.